Hello and welcome back to Cowboys Insiders, your number one source of everything happening around the Dallas Cowboys and the Cowboys Insiders. No matter where you are watching from, whether you are turning from United States, where you are from Africa, Europe, or everywhere else around the world, we truly appreciate you for being here today on the Dallas Cowboys Today Updates. This is your home of Lily Cowboys news, Lily reaction, and Lily passion for the game. So now, before we dive into everything going on the NFL draft in the Dallas Cowboy, please make sure you take one quick second to support Cowboy Insiders. So if you are new here, go ahead to hit on the button subscribe and turn on notification so you will never miss any updates, breaking news, or on the Dallas Cowboy. And if you have been looking with us a while, we seriously appreciate your continued support. You guys are listening to this channel, keep glowing every single day. So let's talk about what's happening right now in the Dallas Cowboy. The NFL draft is officially underway, and this is where the future of the team is built. This is where a stars are discovered and where championship plans begin, and where a franchise like the Dallas Cowboy make the kind of decision that can change everything. Every pick, every move matters, and this year the Cowboys come into the draft with something to prove. After thought and disappointing season, all eyes are on the Dallas Cowboy. So the fans are expecting a big changes, smart decisions, and most importantly, players who can come in and make impact immediately into the Dallas Cowboys. So the pressure is high and the expectations are even high. And so far, the Cowboys are not holding back. This is not just another draft for the Dallas. This is a feels different. This is a feels like team that understand what went wrong and is now trying to fix in this right way. From aggressive trades to targeting key positions, everything we are seeing right now shows a front office that is serious about getting back to the top. And that's exactly what we are going to break down today in the Dallas Cowboy. So we are going to go through every major move, every key picks, and what it all means for the future of the Dallas Cowboy and the owner of the Dallas Cowboy, Jerry Jones. Are they building a championship defense? Are they making the right decision in the Dallas? And the most important, are the Cowboys finally ready to compete again at the highest level? So sit back, relax, and stay locked in because this is Cowboy Insiders, and today we are diving deep into the Dallas Cowboy 2026 NFL Draft Journal. The 2026 NFL Draft has officially kicked a night, and from the very first moments, it became clear that this year's events would be defining turning points for the several franchises. Among the teams drawing the most attention, early on were the Dallas Cowboy franchise under intense pressure to bounce back after disappointing 2025 season. With expectations high and fans demanding change, Dallas entered the draft with a clear sense of urgency and strategy that quickly began to unfold in dramatic fashion. Coming off 7-9-1 record, the Cowboys knew that standing still was not an option. The front office, led by the owner Jerry Jones, had already hinted in the off-season that significant roster adjustments were coming. but no one could have predicted just how aggressive and focused the approach would be once the draft began. Rather than playing it safe, the Dallas made broad moves that signaled a complete commitment to reshaping the identity of the team. Particularly on the defensive side of the ball, the first major moments for the Cowboys come early in the first round. Not content with the original draft position, the Dallas executed a strategic trade to move up the board, targeting one of the most highly regarded defensive prospects in entire class, Caleb Downs. Widely considered, Caleb Downs as the one of the smartest and the most versatile safeties available. Caleb Downs brings innate football intelligence, exceptional awareness, and ability to impact games immediately. His presence in the secondary is expected to address one of the Dallas' biggest weaknesses from last season, where a blown coverage and inconsistent safety play often cost them crucial games. So there is many things that makes Down such as a valuable addition is not just his physical talent, but his leadership and composure. So analysts have consistently described him as a day one difference maker, a player capable of organizing the defense and elevating those around him. For the Cowboys defense that struggled with consistency, his arrival could mark the beginning of a new era to build a discipline and execution. However, the Dallas was far from finished. Later in the first round, the Cowboys once again made headlines by maneuvering their ways into another favorable position to select Malachis Lawrence. These picks further emphasized their defensive overhaul, as Lawrence is widely known for his explosiveness off the edge and his ability to disrupt opposing quarterback. During his college career, he built reputations as a relentless pass rusher, combining speed, power, and techniques to consistently pressure offenses. The addition of Lawrence addresses another critical issues from previous season. While Dallas has flashes of strong defensive line play, they lacked the consistent pass rusher needed to compete with the league's top offenses. By bringing in Preyline Lawrence and Cowboys are clearly aiming to increase their ability to control games at the line of scrimmage, forcing a quarterback into mistakes and creating more turnover opportunities. As the draft continued into a later rounds, Dallas maintained its focus on building a depth and long-term potential. In the third round, they selected a Jason Balham, a versatile defender capable of playing a multiple role. Balham is considered as a high upside prospect known for his athleticism and flexibility. While he may not be as polished as the first round picks, and his ability to adapt and develop within the system make him an intriguing addition to the roster. This selection highlights an important aspect of the Cowboys draft philosophy this year. While they are clearly targeting immediate impact players, they are also investing in the future. Birmingham represents the kind of player who with the right coaching and development could become a key contributor in the years to come. So it is a balanced approach that suggests Dallas is not just thinking about the upcoming season, but about building a sustained success. So another significant element of the Cowboys' draft strategy has been their willingness to make a bold trades in addition to moving up in the draft order. The team has also been active in reshaping its roster through a players transaction. So these moves indicate front office that is full committed to transformation even if it means making a difficult decision in the short term. The message is clear and the mediocrity in no longer acceptable in the Dallas. From a broader perspective, the early stages of the NFL draft have revealed so this shift is particularly interesting given the team's historical emphasis on offensive firepower. It suggests a philosophical change, one that recognizes the importance of the balance and the ability to win a game through a defense. For the fans, this draft brings a renewed sense of the hope and excitement. The combination of innate talent, strategic planning, and aggressive decisions making has created the impression that the Cowboys are finally taking the necessary steps to return to championship contention. Of course, as with any draft, the true impact of these selections will only be known over time. Prospects must develop, adapt to the professional levels, and prove themselves on the field. Still, the early signs are promising by targeting a high-impact defensive players and demonstrating willingness to take calculated risks. Dallas has positioned itself as one of the most integrating teams to watch moving forward. So if there's a most translate into improved performance, the 2026 NFL draft could be remembered as the moment when the Cowboys began their resurgence. As the draft continue over the coming days, all eyes will remain on the Dallas to see how they build on this strong start. Will they continue to prioritize defense, or will they shift their focus on offensive weapon, or will more trades flow this question add to a career, take the team deeper into a playoff and compete for a championship? Supporting Prescott is one of the league's most dynamic wide receivers in CD Lamb, whose ability to create separations, make explosive plays, and dominate a defenses has made him a cornerstone of the offense. Together, they form a partnership that has the potential to be one of the most dangerous in the NFL. But even that is not sufficient, but the light supporting case cost. On the defensive side of the ball, Micah Parsons has emerged as a generational talent. And Micah Parsons is not just a linebacker, he is a complete defensive weapon capable of flashing the passer, dropping into the coverage, and disrupting a plays in ways that few players in the league can replicate. His presence alone changes how opposing offenses prepare for the Cowboys. However, the team has recognized that relying too heavily on one player, no matter how talented, is not sustainable strategy. The draft therefore becomes an opportunity to build a defensive unit that complements a person's. One of the most pressing concerns for the Dallas heading into this draft is the offensive line. Once considered the gold standard of the NFL, the Cowboys' offensive line has experienced a gradual decline due to the injuries, aging players, and a lost turnover. Protecting a Dak Prescott has become an absolute priority, not just to maintain offensive efficiency but to ensure the long-term health and effectiveness of the quarterback position. The front office is acutely aware that without the strong and reliable offensive line, even the most talented offense can struggle. As a result, the Cowboys are expected to invest heavily in a lineman who combine a physical strength, technical skills, and the mental awareness needed to adapt a speed of professional game. Beyond the trenches, the Cowboys are also focused on adding a depth and versatility to the defensive unity. The modern NFL demands defenses that can adapt to a wide range of offensive schemes, from a high-powered passing attacks to a balanced run-heavy system. So a Dallas is targeting a player who brings a speed, flexibility, and intelligence to the field, defenders who can cover in multiple positions, react quickly to the changing situations, and contribute in various roles. This approach reflects a broader shift in the team philosophy, one that emphasizes adaptability and strategic depth over a rigid position load. Offensively, the need for additional weapons is another key focus. While CeeDee Lamb has established himself as a true member one receiver, the Cowboys understand that elite offenses require a multiple threat. Defenses have become increasingly sophisticated and relying on a single dominant receiver who can make an offense predictable. By adding another wide receiver with a speed, a tight end who can both block and crouch, the running back who excel in at passing game, Dallas can create a more dynamic and unpredictable attack. This not only helps Prescott but also forces opposing defenses to spread their attention, opening up opportunities across the field. And what makes this year's draft particularly interesting is the way of the Cowboys are blending traditional scouting with a modern analytics. The organization has embraced a data-driven decisions making, analyzing players' performance metrics, injury histories, and scheme fit in a greater detail than ever before. This evolution demonstrates willingness to adapt to the changing landscape of the National Football League, where a success often depends on finding the right balance between intuition and information. It is a sign that the Cowboys are not just relying on their legacy, but are actively working to stay ahead of the curve. The pressure surrounding the franchise cannot be ignored. The Cowboys are one of the most recognizable teams in a sport, and with that recognition comes constantly scrutiny. Every decision is analyzed, every game is dissected, and every failure is magnified. For Jerry Jones, the pursuit of another championship is deeply personal. For a Dak Prescott, and the stakes are equally highly, as his legacy as a quarterback will ultimately be defined by a postseason success. For the coaching staff, the expectations is simple but demanding. deliver result. In this context, the NFL draft become more than just a process of selecting a player. It became a defining moment, a chance to reshape the roster and address a critical weaknesses and build a team capable of competing at the highest level. The Cowboys are not looking for developmental prospects who may take years to reach their potential. They are just looking for players who can contribute immediately, who can handle the intensity of the NFL, and who can help the team win now. As the draft unfolds, each selection carries a significant weight. A successful pick can strengthen a key area of the roster, while missed opportunities can leave gaps that opponents will exploit. The margin for error is small, and the importance of each decision is magnified by the team's current position as contender. The Cowboys are close and closer enough to believe that the right addition could make all the difference. Ultimately, the story of the Dallas Cowboys at this moment is one of determination and transformation. They are a team with a proud history, talented roster, and clear objective. The challenge lies on turning a potential into performance, in translating a draft day decisions into on-the-field success, and in providing that they can rise above the expectations that have defined them for so long time. So if those NFL draft in the Dallas Cowboys succeed, this draft could be remembered as the moment when everything came together, the moment when the Cowboys finally bridged the gaps between promise and achievement. Missing any quarterback can set franchise back for years, while drafting the right can completely transform the future of organization. At the same time, defensive talent has become equally valuable. Pass rushers are now considered premium assets because of how explosive modern offenses have become. A team know that if they cannot pressure an elite quarterbacks, they simply they simply cannot survive a deep into the playoff. And edge rushers with a speed, power, and athleticism are being viewed as franchise changing, a player capable of anchoring defenses for the next 10 years. Across the league, franchises are also prioritizing offensive line protection more than ever before. The physical demands of the NFL continue to increase, and protecting a young quarterback has become one of the highest priorities in the football. So the organizations are investing are investing first round picks into offensive tacklers who can dominate a pass protection while also creating a lens in the learning of the game. Teams understand that championship are won in the trenches, and the draft is the best opportunity to strengthen those areas. Another major storyline is the rise of aggressive front offices willing to trade a massive draft capital in order to secure an elite talent. A franchise execution no longer wait patiently, hoping the preferred player falls to them. Instead, a team are moving up the board, sacrificing future picks and taking calculated risks to acquire a players they believe can become a superstar. This aggressive strategy has completely changed an atmosphere surrounding the draft night, turning into one of the most unpredictable events in the sport or in the National Football League. The importance of the player development has also become a critical for every franchise. Drafting a talent is is only part of the equation. Organization also must create a winning environment where a young player can grow into a star, and coaching staff and offensive system also, the defensive schemes, locker room culture, and the leadership all play massive roles in determining whether a prospect reaches his full potential. Some franchises consistently maximize a talent because of the strong development system, while others continue struggling despite draft highly talented players. One of the most fascinating aspects of today's NFL is how quickly a youngster are expected to produce. So the fans and analysts no longer give a rookie multiple years to adjust. First round picks are expected to contribute an immediate, especially a quarterbacks, a wide receiver and pass rusher. The pressure pressed on these young athletes is enormous, but the league's fast-paced environment demand instantly impact a franchise's investing millions of the dollar into young players, expect them to become foundational pieces right away. The draft has also become a deeply connected to franchise identity, so some teams prioritize physicality and defensive dominance, while others focus on speed, explosiveness, and offensive firepower. And every organization approaches a roster building differently, but the ultimate goal remains the same: constructing a, a championship caliber teams capable of competing for a Super Bowl. The fans across the NFL are already dreaming about what their franchise could become over the new few seasons. Hope is what makes the NFL draft so powerful, and every fan base believes the next superstar could already be on their roster. Every selection brings excitement, optimism, and renewed belief that a brighter future is coming. For rebuilding franchises, the draft represents a survival. For a playoff contender, it represents the final missing pieces needed to compete for a championships. For a struggling organization, it represents redemption and fresh beginning, and for a powerhouse teams already near the top of the league. So it represents an opportunity to stay dominant while the rest of the NFL tries to separate to catch up. The modern NFL is evolving faster than ever before. Offenses are becoming more explosive, defenses more versatile, and franchise more aggressive in pursuing elite talent in the NFL. The draft sits at the center of all of it. It is where a future are created, career begin, and championship dreams are born. As the next NFL era begins to take a shape, franchise across the league know there it is no room for mistake anymore. But one elite draft class can change everything. So one superstar quarterback can revive an entire city. One defensive playmaker can redefine a championship defenses. The stakes have never been higher, and that is exactly why the NFL draft continues to captivate a millions of the fans every single year. On the end, the franchise that scored better, develop talent smarter, and build a strong cultures is every year without seeing a deep playoff success. One of the biggest stories surrounding the Dallas lineup is the complete rebuild and transformation of the defense during the previous season. The Cowboys struggled badly at the times on defense, especially against the run and the late game situation where they failed to stop opposing offenses during a critical drives. Those defensive struggles become one of the most biggest reasons for the Cowboys' failure to compete consistently against a narrowed team. So because of those problems, the Dallas made a several major coaching adjustments and brought in new defensive minds to reshape the identity of the team. So the coaches inside the organization reportedly want the Cowboys defense to become a faster, more aggressive, and more physically and far more unpredictable. The franchise believes that if the defense improves significantly, the entire team can once again become a faster and more aggressive and more physical, softer and predictable. The center of that defensive rebuild continues to be Amika Person, who remains the emotional leader and superstar of the Cowboys defense. Parsons is still considered one of the most dangerous defensive players in the football because of his explosiveness, speed, versatility, and the ability to completely change the games within a few plays. There are ongoing discussions about a massive new contract extension that could make him one of the highest paid defensive players in the entire NFL history. Cowboys fans view a Parsons as the face of the franchise and believe the future of the defense will revolve around him for many years. So for another huge source of excitement for the Dallas fans, it comes during 2026 NFL Draft. Many analysts around the league praised the Cowboys for having one of the smartest and balanced drafts in the NFL, so their first major selection was a Caleb Down, a highly talented safety whom many experts believed was one of the best defensive players available in the entire of NFL draft this year of 2026 class. Downs has already impressed coaches with his football intelligence, athleticism, awareness, tackling ability, and leadership qualities despite being a rookie. Inside the organization led by the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, there is a growing belief that he could immediately become one of the most impactful young players on the defense. So the Cowboys also selected Malachi Lawrence, an explosive edge rusher with innate speed and pass rushing ability. The Dallas believes that Lawrence can become a major weapon alongside Amika Parsons, creating one of the fastest and most dangerous pass rushing combinations in the NFL. So the coaches are reportedly extremely excited about his athleticism and his potential to create a pressure against opposing quarterbacks. Another rookie